15. Then I was quite nervous because I wanted to impress him. But now I played in a team with him for so long that I just feel very motivated because Magnus is a real sports person. He wants to always win, and
Jeez.
we see
Magnus, look
in
at the
his game.
domination. Look at this position. Oh,
In his position looks very nice. We can see the structure. Black has double pawns on f7 and f5, and also the knight on d6 is very strong. Pawn on d5 also weak, so I think it's a great position.
Are you missing it a little bit with the team being there? There were a lot of videos on the internet of you guys having such a great time.
I hope we will do the same again at some point.
And take a look at that pawn structure. He's got that extra d pawn with the double pawns on the f file. This looks like bad news. The b6 pawn is hanging. So many tactics. Actually, you can pick up knight b6, or is that too greedy?
I think you most certainly can. I think you at least have to think about it, because if you don't pick up that pawn, if white drops the knight back, then Mishra could take on d4, and that's exactly the way that you lose this advantage if you're the world champion. He's also up 6 minutes. I think that's another reason why I'm feeling very pessimistic for the youngest grandmaster in the world. So currently Magnus is up a pawn, right? Black has 6 pawns, white has 7. Knight takes b6 is on the board, and queen b5 here is what I think Carlsen was calculating. Maybe the move d5 can be played counterattacking Black's knight. But I'm not totally sure that this is over. I don't think it's over.
I mean, there's some precision that's required here, right? The knight on b6 doesn't really have a retreat square, so you have to find a way to counterattack. You don't want to go all the way to a8. Definitely going to get trapped then. Knight d4 is hanging. That's not a square your knight belongs in. But d5, I like that move. After d5, black can at least look at picking up that knight on b6. You pick up the knight on e6. Black picks up the rook on d1. And after queen d1, just watch out. Don't pick up the e6 pawn with your queen. There's a back rank problem.
Yeah, I'll show that on the analysis board, because Carlsen, with plenty of time, is going to take some time to think about this. If he goes d5, which I think he will, Abimanyu has to already be thinking about whether it's worth going for this endgame, as you said, not queen takes e6. But I'm pessimistic, Tanya, because Carlsen can win these in classical chess. I feel like within the confines of a game where his opponent has 30 seconds, queen d8, d6 might decide the game immediately, according to the eval bar. So Abimanyu has to keep the knights on the board, I think, and try to go after Magnus's knight after knight c5. Maybe e6 works out for white. The tactics get really crazy, but Carlsen has to calculate a position like this and actually properly evaluate it, because he will be down a piece here if Abimanyu keeps the knights on the board. Never mind, it's a moot point. Carlsen has made a different move. We go back to the eval bar. He's refrained from d5 instead. He's trying to force the queens off the board. That's given black, I think, some very decent drawing chances after the trade.
Yeah, you can trade and you can pick up the d4 pawn. Well, he decides to pick up the pawn first. Queen b5 trade. Now, the big problem for Abimanyu Mishra is also the clock, Daniel. He's down to 25 seconds. The knight on d4 is pinned. Nice move by Magnus, just sidestepping a discovered check by the knight.
I feel like that was a really bad move by Abi, because it's given white a fully sort of rectified pawn structure on the queen side. The reason I think he's done that, he's trying to keep the b6 knight at bay, but he's fighting a lost battle because his own pieces are stuck in mud on the d5. I think Carlsen, he wins these games, 99 times out of 100. I'm not even exaggerating. I don't see Mishra holding this with 15 seconds, but you never know. We've seen how good he is in acute time pressure. Rook c8 is another excellent defensive move. It ain't over.
It ain't over. And Magnus is not pleased with the fact that he allowed Abimanyu's rook to escape out of this pin, because if the knight would have moved, even a rook trades, a knight pawn ending would have been completely winning. But Magnus still dominating. The rooks are alive, but the rook enters e6. What a move. Pick up the g7 pawn. e6 will fall. h7 will fall. The clock will fall. The game will fall.
The rook will fall as well, and the game does indeed fall. Abimanyu Mishra suffers his first PCL loss, but it's a good person to lose to if you